In this video, I'm going to give you the simplest and most effective method for learning to be a great chipper of the golf ball. And you just have to do a little bit of math. You have to be able to divide by 2, divide by 3, or divide by 4. And once you can figure that out, it'll really help your chipping and your scores will plummet. Watch this video, you'll love it. I'm going to give you a great method for learning to chip and really to learn to control your distances today. If you can control the trajectory of your chip shots consistently, your different wedges produce different rollouts. And here's what I mean. The farthest cone down there is about 24 steps away from where I'm at, and a third of 24 is 8. So I've put this closest cone just 8 steps away from where I'm going to chip. For me, I have a 50-degree wedge, a 54-degree wedge, and a 58-degree wedge. And I use all three depending on the shot that I get around the green. I probably use the 1/3, 2/3 shot like I'm set up right now the most, and I hit that with my 54-degree wedge. It may vary for you depending on your technique, but for me, if I set up fairly close to the ball and have my club angled forward so it's soled flat, that's 54 degrees aloft, and if I can maintain that angle at impact, I will produce the same launch angle each time. And for shots that are close around the green, maybe within 5 or 10 yards of the green, it'll produce a very consistent 1/3 carry, 2/3 roll on the green. Then if I want to hit a 50-50 shot, I can use my 58-degree wedge. It'll go 50-50. I'll demonstrate that later. And my 50-degree club will go 1/4, 3/4. And that's on a green that stimps around 9 or 10. So obviously if what you play on is a lot faster, it might vary these a little bit. Or if what you play on slower, it might vary them as well. But try to find a predictable carry and a predictable rollout, and you'll start getting up and down. It'll really improve your scores. So a couple things chipping wise. It's very important, I think, to play from a very narrow stance where your feet aren't very wide. You might put just a little more weight on your left foot than your back foot. But what's really important is what angle we get our shoulders on when we chip. We would like to either be level or maybe even have our back shoulder higher than our front shoulder. The biggest mistake I see with players is they get too far away from the ball and they're still tilted like this, like they would hit driver. And so then they bottom out behind the ball, or then they hit it on the upswing and they blade it over the green. So if you can learn to get set up with your shoulders correctly, it'll really help in having a descending blow and a negative angle of attack on the way down. Once I get set up and I have the club angled forward, if I can just keep that angle all the way on my backswing and my forward swing, I will hit the same trajectory, the same launch angle each time, and it should have a predictable rollout. I'm probably best at 1/3, 2/3, and so whenever I have that opportunity where that shot would work on the green, that's the one I'll use. You might find out that you're better off with a 50-50 shot, and that's great. But you should have an idea of where to land your ball and have a really good idea on how the predictable rollout's going to be. So I'm just going to hit a couple here. I'm just going to try to land it around just to the right of this first cone. It breaks a little left down by the hole, and it should produce a pretty predictable chip shot. So that's pretty good. That's what I'm used to doing. And the talent part of it is hitting my landing area. I know it's going to have a predictable rollout. So learn to hit a 1/3, 2/3 shot predictably, and it'll really improve your scoring. And so if we get set up correctly, not too far from the ball, not too wide a stance, my hands forward, I'm just going to keep them on that angle. I hit that one a little past the cone, so it'll go a little past the hole, but not bad. And it's the best way to learn to do it. If I switch to my 58-degree club, I'm just going to move it 4 steps closer. Now my cone is halfway to my target, and with my 58-degree club, I can get set up the same way. I know I'm going to hit a shot predictably that flies halfway there and rolls the other half. So I'm going to get set up the same way. My shoulder's pretty level, and I'm just going to try to land it right by that cone, and it'll hit a shot that goes 50-50. Hey, it's Medicare open enrollment time. There's hundreds of plans available. We've partnered with a company called Chapter. It's totally no charge to you. They will evaluate your personal situation and find the best plans and the most cost-effective way for you to keep your doctors, your plans, and have peace of mind that you're making the correct decisions as it comes with Medicare. It's really simple. Call the number on the screen or click the link and you can get right to them. You might ask why I need different shots. Well, I like to land the ball on the green and not land it in the fringe, because especially where we're from with zoysia surrounds, very unpredictable bounce. And so if I'm farther from the green and the pin's closer to me, I would want a shot that only flies halfway and rolls halfway. If I'm pretty close to the green and I have the hole quite a bit farther away, then that's where 1/3, 2/3 really comes into play. Even 1/4, 3/4 if I would switch to my 50-degree club. So that's one of the things I'd really recommend that you practice. Go to the putting green, chipping green, where you can practice. Just step off how far you are to a hole, put you a target landing area 1/3 the distance, and just hit shots until you can predictably launch the ball so it rolls 1/3, 2/3, or 50-50 depending on what club you're using. If you're having trouble consistently rolling the ball out, whether you're wanting to go 2/3 or 1/2, it's probably because you're losing that angle and you're creating loft. So if I create loft and I land it pretty close to that cone, it's not going to roll very far. So if you're having trouble rolling it the correct distance after it lands, it's likely because you're not maintaining this angle. And one of the things that I like to think about is our trail hand. So a right hand for a right hand player, when I angle this club forward, you'll see that I get an angle in the back of my right wrist, and all I'm trying to do is maintain that angle and swing that arm like a pendulum. And if I keep that angle in my wrist, I'm going to keep that shaft angle with the club the entire stroke, and I'm going to get predictable results. And watch on television, you'll see that almost all the tour players incorporate this chipping method in their game. And it's one of the reasons why they're so good at it. And it's one of the reasons it's probably going to help your game the most if you can really become a consistent chipper and pitcher of the ball. So having a 3-wedge system to hit chip shots with really makes sense. And I recommend you try it, and I promise it'll help your golf game.